All right, welcome back, everyone. You all know how I do my videos. I cover a lot of charts, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. If it doesn't make sense to you, oh well, tough shit. We'll move on. Okay. So the price has exploded higher, but I keep hearing YouTubers saying that this was the all-time high. We crossed it, and no, we haven't crossed the all-time high. We actually touched it, but in doing so, the swing trading system shows, and if you don't know what I mean, you might need to see previous videos, but you'll see we've breached the top line here, so that when that happens, usually the reversal is very strong. And if you don't believe me, we go back and we see when it's broken to the downside, the reversal is extremely strong. Broken, let me just full screen that. Broken out of it, it reverses. But the same is true in reverse. We break out of it, the reversal is like that. In this case, we kind of like broke above. We peaked out here, but this is when we have the other indicators to tell us, and we broke down. So right now, we've broken out of the range. So this has to come back into the range. At the very least, we have to go back into the 71 or 70 range or 69. But there are now big signals telling us danger. The first signal that I'll talk about is the fucking tunnel. The tunnel has not disappeared. I would have expected this tunnel to start fading out, and basically somewhere around here I would have expected this to go like this. Oh, damn, that doesn't look right. Right there. I would have expected this to go like this, kind of like what you see here. So the price would have been more like pushing like this, but because it hasn't, the tunnel is actually very problematic with me, because if you go back in history, the tunnel usually it's a building of pressure and then it bursts to the upside or the downside. However, here you can see before it burst, let me see, go like this tunnel right here, and you can clearly see the little tunnel. Before the bursting, the price touched this area, which was towards the bottom. Now, when it did towards the bottom, if you see closely, let me actually zoom in very fucking close. If you see it right here, the price here on the indicator was at the bottom, and you can see this was at the bottom and it was bottoming, and then it went up like crazy. So that's when the tunnel began to expand. We're not seeing that right now, and here's another tunnel. Once you close it in like this, you can see it's a mini tunnel. But this shit, look how long it is. The fact that this is a long ass tunnel has me actually concerned, because we haven't made the Fibonacci top and the Fibonacci bottom line expand, kind of like these things. And now, as you can see, the ChatGPT indicator is on a strong sell. We're very close to the signal that I was telling you on my last video that I was waiting for. We're pretty much there. So within the next few days, I'm not going to say 24 to 48, because I made a few changes to the indicator setup, but this would suggest that into the last 2 days of October, the price is going to want to push up higher. The problem is, we haven't broken a new all-time high. I know that other YouTubers are saying we did. We literally touched it, and I have a chart that goes over that specific thing, because a lot of people are saying that we broke higher. No, we touched it. So what we've done is something very bullish called a double top. So just follow along. And if you remember on my last video, I mentioned, let me see right here, let me move this over like this, that when you have these intersecting three lines, red, blue, and green, red, blue, and green, but at the top, typically they're followed by a price correction. Now, what we have here is we have the price breaching the top of this setup. Um, and we have this, the green, blue, and red towards the top, with the blue meaning momentum. It's like stalling, but it could still move higher, which is why I'm saying these last 2 days of October could be the final push. And I suspect the retracement is going to be brutal from what we're seeing. And it's also because this fucking tunnel hasn't played out. I really don't like that this tunnel hasn't expanded. So in these next 2 days, if this doesn't expand, these orange lines don't expand, then this to me looks like a massive fucking trap. And and if you're asking me if I'm trading this, no. You all know I'm an investor. I'm not actively trading because I don't want to be glued to my computer. I got a bunch of other stuff to do. So that's basically the intro to this long video that I'm going to do for 30 minutes. Let's jump into the next chart, and I'm just going to keep rolling with the punches. So the MACD here, if you follow along, this one, when it confirms down, it's a downward push. It's a strong downward push. And then here you can see it was a strong downward push. This was basically signaling the bottom, and that turned out to be correct. Right now, this signaled a downturn, which was a really turbulent downturn. And now we haven't crossed up. So for those of you that are ultra bullish, we don't have this one confirming. So this is not confirmed an upside. So as an investor, I'm not worried. I wait for confirmation, but here we go. Now this chart I mentioned and I explained in a damn word salad like Kamala Harris. In another video on TradingView, I explained that the red line of this triangle signals that people are betting Trump is going to win, and if Trump wins, then Bitcoin, yeah, should fucking rally. This blue line is a support line, and I explained that if Kamala wins, then the price should collapse. And it's simply right now what I'm very nervous of what I'm seeing right now, like genuinely nervous, which is why I'm waiting until the election for the confirmation, is one, we've broken above the line because so many people believe and are convinced that Trump is going to win. And he's promising all these things, which are really good for the country. Like financially, they're really good for the country. But he actually hasn't won yet. So, for those of you investors out there, and I'm talking to the investors, the patient ones that are not emotional, if he wins, your only window of upside left is, I would say, the green and yellow brick. I'm in the green brick. I will be closing most, if not all, my positions once we enter into the green brick. That's just my strategy. I don't believe that we can get to this peak up here, even though so many people say that we should hit like 120, which is this line up here. I'm not in that camp. I'm not even in the $100,000 camp. I'm in the 80 to 90 camp. And this thing breaking above the red line, remember, it only signals that people are convinced that Donald Trump is going to win. And that's because he's pro crypto. He's saying he's going to remove income taxes, which, if he does, that means more money for you and your purchases or your expenses. You'll have more money, indirectly combating inflation. However, he's going to raise tariffs. So, if you know business with tariffs, you know that businesses are just going to increase the prices on items. So, yes, you'll have more money, but stuff might be more expensive. So, I'm not going to get into that. I'm just explaining how he has good ideas for the economy, but some of them are still iffy because, as a libertarian, I understand that the real problem has always been the Federal Reserve. But I'll leave it at that. That's a conversation for another day. So, to summarize this chart, this is basically saying people are betting that he's going to win. But remember, I said Monday, November 4th, going into Tuesday, November 5th, is the real commotion. Like, that's really when you expect. So, right now, yes, we have broken out. The confirmation that this stays out here is now the election. So this is really good for all the investors. I myself, when I got here, if you recall in my videos on TradingView, I closed about 55% of my positions are closed out. Like I converted them back to cash and I kept that. The rest are still riding. So I'm sitting pretty regardless because I got in down here, and I did a final purchase around here, and I just let this ride. So where we're at right now, we're waiting for this price to remain above here, confirmed after the election. So what we want now, in order for this to resume its upward push, we need Trump to win. Trump wins, I will deploy more money because I don't care if I miss this little shit rally from 49 to 73. I don't care because the target is somewhere up here. right? And somewhere up here means we could be between 80 to 90, which is my target as a top, or it could be in the 80s and then that's it. But it's still really, really good. So that's essentially how I'm seeing this. And if you're asking, did he buy? No, I haven't bought. I'm waiting for the election. That's literally the final thing. Because right now, as I was saying, what could be happening is a terrible by the rumor being that Donald Trump is going to win, and then the news would be Kamala actually wins at that point this will probably collapse hardcore. So if you're reading the news, you can see that Kamala has been very against crypto. So yeah, 10 minutes, okay. So this chart, same. We've broken out of the triangle, which is really good, but again, notice the signals. Overbought, overbought, sell, overbought, sell, overbought. Everything is screaming we need a strong correction. So now the thing is, your confirmation, if you're waiting to see what does it mean, is if we bounce from the 66 or from even the 69, we have to like stay above this line for a minute. Staying above this line, that's your confirmation, but that confirmation will come once we get the election. Okay? Let me save that and close that out. Okay, so this chart, you can see we did again break out and we're on the line right now. But again, I put October 29 with the rising wedge, but the rising wedge got invalidated because of what happened, because this was expected to go down, which again brings me back to my point. I don't like that it's rallying into the election night because it could be a big ass surprise that Kamala wins, which would be a fucking strangest thing ever. So now the only thing left for me was to push this to November 5th, right there at 4, right there. So let me see if I see a chart or some sort of pattern here. Give me a second, people. Mm, not necessarily, this wouldn't count. Yeah. Yeah, no, this doesn't count. Okay. So then two options. Retracement to 69, but I'm not so sure right now. So it's getting turbulent in my opinion. So kitchen knives chart is not useful today, so I gotta leave it. Okay, let's move into the dollar. The dollar, it's still on track to hit that ceiling and potentially bounce, or on track to resume a breakout. Until I get to this point or closer to the date of the election night, we should know more. But really, that's what we're waiting for. So yeah, the dollar right now, there's not much to discuss. Okay, 13 minutes. Okay. So on this one, same thing. This is the one I was trying to show you. So I'm zooming in as much as I can right there. I'm going to put a line across right fucking there. And I'm using this one. So you see this? Right there. You see this and this? There was no new all-time high. I know that a lot of people are saying it did. If you look closely, this was here, this was here. What this in fact shows right now is if this doesn't break higher in the next 2 days, which is the end of October, this, let me change that color to something. Yeah. And this are what we call a double top. Now, a double top is extremely bearish, like extremely bearish. Okay. All right. So for those of you saying we hit a new all-time high, no, we have not hit a new all-time high. I'm showing you right here. Zooming in. In fact, I'll zoom in like this. You can clearly see the line right there at 73,794. This line peaked at 73.6, couple $100 away. That's it. So if you see YouTubers saying we've reached a new all-time high, they're lying. But that's what YouTubers do. Okay. Let's go here. I'm gonna close this out. Okay, so this one has this is where the danger zone has now finally arrived yet again. And for that, we need this one. And I need to probably get rid of these blue lines now. Okay, so try to follow along because this one is very important, what we're going to cover here. And minimize this. Let's do this. Okay. Okay, so first red dot occurred right here. And you see this dot right here. Let me put the... Okay. So Friday, October 1st, 2021. You see right there. Now, I need you all to just pay attention to this. Red dot, price peaking. Okay. What happened? Price collapsed. Okay. I'm gonna now delete it and quickly go into the next one, which would be, let's go to the previous one right here. Two red dots. So what was that price here? Right here. Oh shit, I deleted it. There it is. Okay, so now we're gonna draw it again right here. And then right here. So if you're seeing this, red dots typically signal the top. So now what happened here with the price? Let me measure it from here to here. 50 to 60% drop, okay? I'm just going to leave it like that. We're going to move to the present. So now we're moving forward to more recent times right there. We're moving this one to the red dot right here. So now this red dot here, this red dot was here. That was March 1st, 2024. March 1st, 2024. This was the time when I started selling my position and I cleared out 50% of my position, maybe 55, because I don't really keep track. I just know I cut it in half. And what happened here, we didn't have a major crackdown. You see, it didn't go all the way down. It didn't, which is what's happening. So now we measure this. It was here all the way to this one. That was a 33% drop. Some of you might be saying, that was nothing, bro. That's nothing. Okay. But explain to me, now we got another red dot right now. Just triggered. That red dot signals we are at a top or topping, or we're going to top within the next few days. That's literally what it means. But it's on the monthly chart. So it's basically saying, if you were to read this literally the way it's set up, this is saying on the month of October, we may have hit an actual top. Now, if that is the case, this and that is right here and right here. That's a fucking double top. So that right there, my friends, is very dangerous because a double top could signal a really flush down move. Now, obviously, right now, everyone has raging boners that we're gonna go to 100. Everyone's convinced this is it. We're done. But my main point of argument here is, yes, this is good news for people that want Bitcoin to rally because we're above the line. We've breached it. Now is the final test. Does Trump actually win? Which is why people are getting into Bitcoin, because they're assuming Trump's going to win. That's what the gambling right now is. That everyone everywhere saying he's gonna win. Do not underestimate your opponent. Do not ever underestimate your opponent. So, if Trump wins, I don't care, because that means once I get in, I have confidence that we're going to be rallying into this square. If Trump actually turns out that he loses, we're looking at this area down here. And this area will be brutal for a lot of people. So anyways, just needed to show that. And you see this chart right here. So this chart right there, you see I have an interesting square signaling that if this moves into this is your area of potential getting out. And it's because on this setup, You can see cycles always point towards the bottom, but they also point towards the top. Anywhere inside this red bar is an excellent area to sell. So this turning upward, which is what's happening, trying to push, tells me we don't have enough strength to get to 100. This is what tells me we don't have enough strength to get to 100,000. This tells me 80 to 90 is the strength we have left. And so we push into this square, which is technically this area here. So I'll adjust this right now, really right there. And that could be the selling point where you just get the fuck out completely, because then comes the big trough in 2026, or second half of 2025 going into 2026 is where I see the next. And if you just go by this chart, that's expected to happen anyway, right? So I know so many people are saying that's it, we're going to the moon, baby. Well, this indicator is saying extreme danger. And I said it that my last video that I think November 1st until the 5th are the most dangerous, because everyone that was betting on a certain outcome are going to have a sudden change of heart. So that's why I keep saying wait till the election. Yes, if you're not if you feel like you're missing out, take comfort in knowing that you want assurances, because this is the money you've worked long and hard to get from your job, and it'd be very painful to see it vanish in a sell-off, because you know what happens in a sell-off. Coinbase, Kraken, all these exchanges fucking lock up and you can't move your price, so you're literally stuck holding the bag, and you're allowed to resume trading after exchanges reopen, whatever, right? So just remember that little detail. Okay, what does this one say? Well, this one, as I've said, when the line is green, that means it's a buying opportunity. But when the line is tiny, like it is, that means you're at the top. So this one would say Elliott wave signals that we should pull back to 65K. Sure, that would be basically a retracement of the breakout, and then we do a. This would be the fourth, and the fifth is what takes us. I think, if it does take us to the fifth, it could be the 81. So 81 is still in play. 81K would be, in my opinion, the safe number to start closing all positions. But until I get there, I won't know. So, but that's what this indicator is saying to me. Okay, so let's close this out. So now this one has now triggered what I was waiting for, a sell signal. You see it right here. This has now entered into a strong sell. I'm sorry, just a sell. If it pushes itself into the 80K or 75, I think we'll get really close to the strong sell. We get to the strong sell, that's when you want to close out a good chunk of your position. But we're not there yet. There's still 2 days. I'm of the opinion that once November starts, this shit can get violent. Okay, on this chart, because I'm running out of time now, I do need to keep it at 30 minutes, whether I'm done with all the tabs or not. At this chart right now, the ABC correction is losing steam. So I'm going to just correct that by fading it. And it seems like we are heading into the fifth wave. So it looks like we are going right now, moving away from the B point that I had. And the only catch here is this. The only reason why I don't delete it, because we haven't actually gone higher. An ABC correction would say on Elliott wave that the B cannot be higher than your starting point. And that's essentially what's happened. We haven't gone above the starting point. I proved that in one of my previous charts right now. So because we haven't gotten above the high, then we technically, the B is still there, and it could be the biggest bull trap ever to pull everyone down. However, if we do break above that, then I will fully have to delete this, because then it's going to invalidate the ABC correction. So this is very important. So if you did not understand what I just said, I strongly encourage you rewind this portion so that you understand an Elliott wave, ABC correction, why I'm not deleting it yet. I will only delete it if we break above the starting point, which then would fully invalidate the ABC correction. And it really validates the fifth wave top that's coming. So right now, This is until the election. This ABC is still in play unless if we break above 73,794 sometime in the next few days. Okay? So that's why you see me patiently waiting because I know that this shit can easily swallow everyone in and then spit and chew and spit everyone else out. Okay, so at 25 minutes, I got 5 minutes. The Kendall report indicators are still in a strong downtrend here on this one. So nothing has changed on this one. And this one has basically said the same. It's topped, so nothing new. This one, the jaws of death, is getting invalidated. It just is. And so right now I'm gonna leave it, but this thing is saying again sell. Look at this thing here. Just look at this fucking indicator. Look at this right here. It's projecting nothing but downtrend. Even this one. They're both projecting large downtrends coming. So fuck. I just noticed all the indicators. Look at even this one, this one, this one, this one. These are the proprietary ones that I purchased, so I paid money for these. But they're all saying that this is going to retrace, which makes sense to me. On this one, okay, we broke above the projection on this indicator. We broke above. The projection was at 68. It broke above. So this indicator, if it doesn't see a change, it's going to readjust its projection. So I'm waiting for this indicator to react. And because I have it on the monthly, the indicator will not reset or readjust until the month closes, which happens in 2 days. So that's why you don't see me stressing or anything because either way, we're still at a topping phase. Um, okay, so 26. Okay, let me close this out. Okay, on this one, let me see if I see anything here. No. The only thing would be the daily golden cross on the 50-day crossing above the 200. That's the only bullish strong case, but I'm not even convinced because everything else is saying we've kind of topped out, and it kind of formed a double top. And look at this indicators: top, turning, top, 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 top. Everything on this chart is yelling a pullback is inbound. Here you can see it more visibly. It's a double top, unless if the price breaks above the current high. Which again, if you hear people saying we've broken above a new all-time, we haven't done it yet. We haven't done it, and I just showed it to you moments ago. Okay, Renko is ready. Renko's been ready for a minute to turn to rip faces to the downside. It's been ready. It hasn't started, but Renko's been ready. So Renko is basically saying, be ready with cash. I got 2 minutes to spare, so that's perfect. So summary here. Bitcoin has 2 days left to break this tunnel and really move to the upside. Until it does, I'm not changing my position that I think it's going to be a horrible correction that's inbound. And I don't want to say this was all buy the rumor, sell the news, but it's beginning to look like that, where everyone is thinking that Trump is going to win. So everyone is putting money that Trump is technically locked in, as what's his name, Gregory Mannarino says that he's locked in. But these charts are saying extreme caution because it's not guaranteed. It hasn't been confirmed. So right now, all the charts are saying if Bitcoin's gonna do an all-time high, it has technically until the end of October, which is 2 days. So by Friday is when we should know, or maybe Thursday evening, Halloween, really, in the United States. If Bitcoin doesn't break above the previous all-time high, it's gonna confirm what's called a double top, and a double top is bearish, and it will cause a strong correction to the downside. All right, people, 30 seconds left. So right now, again, if you're an investor, you're sitting pretty on the sidelines waiting for full confirmation. If you're a trader and you were shorting and you got killed, that's your fucking fault. for trying to be perfect. That's why investors, we don't have emotions. We just buy when we see confirmation across the board. Good luck, everyone. I got 5 seconds left.